This episode of Vic's Basement is brought to you by EB Games. Support us by buying your video games at EB Games. Welcome to my basement, everybody.
Hey.
It is our final Game of Thrones coffee talk, although today it is hot, so we are drinking water and...
No pajamas.
No, and we're not in pajamas.
Okay,
we're
well,
late
This is what
with
I wear
this.
to bed.
We're super late with this. Also, we should just be honest with people. We also did a podcast today.
Yeah.
We're just airing these separately.
Yeah.
So that's why we're wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, we're in the same clothes. We're
But
trying
in
to
our
finally
pajamas.
get back to some of the content that we promised, and it's taken us a while to deliver.
Yeah.
My broker's calling. Do you mind if I leave this on the table? Okay.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But we didn't get to wrap up Game of Thrones, and we
Right.
had mixed feelings, all of us.
We tried to wrap it up.
We did.
We did. You
we
and I
started
tried.
to roll the
did.
minute that the show ended, but the internet was terrible in Los Angeles in our hotel
And you
room.
shouted, "Welcome to Game of Thrones Coffee Talk," and the
then-
neighbor was like, "God damn it, turn it around over there! I'm trying to get some."
No, it's loud in LA during E3 week. Are you kidding? Anyways, Game of Thrones ended. I'm gonna say on a high note. I think that
Joffrey's dead.
was wrong season.
He is dead.
He is dead. I think that they had a fantastic final episode. I really enjoyed all of the stuff that went down in that show.
There was a lot of
But
stuff.
they
that
sure
happened for
saved
sure.
a lot for that final episode.
Well, I feel like
Yeah,
too
they
much was
saved a
crammed in
lot.
there,
Yeah.
frankly. You know, and I feel
Exactly.
like some of that stuff could have been maybe meted out a little sooner. And I feel like there were some questions that could have been answered a little sooner, a little more quickly. I mean, it was certainly watchable, probably the most watchable episode all season by far, but I don't think any season of all the 5 that have aired so far have saved so much for the last episode
Yeah.
and relied on it so much. And it's a different strategy. Now, clearly this is something they're aware of when they pace these things, but usually the peak comes sooner in this season. Joffrey died very early in season 4.
Yeah.
You know, the Red Wedding, is that what it was? That happened, you know, an episode or 2 before the end in season 3.
Yeah.
And this one, all these things, they just saved right up until the very, very, very end. And we
So
had all
many
these
things,
questions,
yeah.
and I think most of them got answered.
Yeah.
There's more. There are more questions now for sure. I don't even know where to begin with this episode.
I think
because-
what we have to do first off, though, is give a special shout out to Ben Hankey, who guested when you and I couldn't be here, and sat in with Scott a couple times, and predicted pretty much everything that happened in the run up to this.
He reads the books.
Does he read the books?
That's not
I don't
fair.
know, but he was dead on with a lot of stuff,
Yep.
including the Mecca Mountain. Who ends up becoming a prominent figure at the end of Cersei's unbelievable
Yeah,
walk of
that's
shame
very
there.
strange. Like
That
part
was
of my
weird.
brain still doesn't really accept all of it. And you kept
Yeah.
saying that too. You're like, I think the mountain's under that blanket. And of course
Yeah.
he was. You
Yeah.
were right. And I want
Yeah.
to give Roberto, who's actually on the show, Ben Hankey he makes video games.
Yeah.
Marissa Roberto makes TV.
Yeah.
We're going to give her the credit for recognizing.
Yeah, take that, Benny.
Blah.
No.
So the mountain is still
He's
alive.
very picked
but
up.
he's like a
but
Frankenstein
after that,
now.
oh my god! After that walk of shame that had to happen for Cersei, my god, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. Lena Headey,
Well,
you do
they
it.
shot that with a body double. I read about that.
Okay.
It was a body double, and they fused part of Cersei's face, Lena Headey's face, onto the body double.
I
So
wonder
there
why
was-
they didn't make her do
okay,
it.
because
There was digital stuff in
Because
there.
I was wondering how an actress would actually do
Act,
that.
yeah.
How she could act and just do that whole walk and not really. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be acting at the end. It would be a complete breakdown because there's no way your mind could take all of that. People were spitting on her, and it was just.
That body double, that makes sense, Vic, because her bush was very big. And I just... I just would imagine, like, that Cersei would have a bush that would be so
What are
big.
you talking about? Well, you think that there's bush maintenance?
I don't know. Cersei looks like she maintains everything, and
She
some
was
of her
just.
stuff
She was just
didn't seem
imprisoned
maintained.
for a long time.
I don't know for how long. It was like 3 episodes. It doesn't seem very
Yeah,
long.
I know, but it's been a while. She hasn't eaten. She cracked a little bit, and
She did
probably
crack.
You know, for sure that she suffered a lot, and for sure she had to pay, and she's done a lot of terrible things over the course of the show.
Yeah, she's still not paid enough.
No, for sure, but also it's just like I don't know if I need to watch so much suffering. Like I don't like that
There
was like
was a
a
lot of
20-minute montage of this
suffering,
woman
yeah.
walking down the streets with people telling her what a whore she is,
Well, I
what a
think-
cunt she is. Let's throw shit at her. Now let's literally throw shit at her.
Show our penises.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know if I want to watch
Well, they
this
wanted-
anymore, and that's
because
part of my mixed feelings about the last
If
episode.
they didn't keep it to run as long as it did, it would not be as torturous. Because by the end of it, there is empathy for this horrible person.
I didn't really feel empathy. I felt empathy for me as a viewer. Like, why am I still watching this show? I don't know if
I mean,
I'm
it was
watching it
torturous.
anymore.
It was
Yeah, it was a
torturous.
lot to
It
watch,
was
and it's just like
really, yeah.
this is a show that always has sort of reveled in torture, and I know what happened.
But
to,
now we get to see Cersei's, what her plan is now. Now we get to see what she comes back with, and we get to see the fall of this religious, freaky superpower.
we totally lost track of Marjorie.
Yeah.
We never revisited
Never got
her.
back to her,
We never
no.
saw what what happened with
Yeah,
them.
they
We
kinda
just left them
her in the
behind.
dust.
And that's the one big question I think from the episode. The other big question was when not Stannis, who's the one that jumped off the roof with Theon Greyjoy?
Oh no, it was the angry. You mean Reek?
Sansa.
Reek and
Reek
Sansa.
and Stanza. I think they called her Stanza one week. But she jumped off the roof, and I remember. I watched the episode a couple times, and I looked over the side of that roof, and another character falls that same height and dies. I think it's the same spot.
They jumped to the snow, though. I think.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I don't know. They didn't. I think they have to be alive because they didn't
They
definitively
No,
show us
and
that
they
she was
can't
dead.
kill off those two central characters
Can't
like
they?
that. No, I mean they can, but
Yeah.
not like that. Like give them something a little bit more.
I hated the
than that.
part where Brienne of Tarth is staring at the tower like, I hope that light comes on in the tower. And then all of a sudden she's just like, well, I guess it's not coming on. Turns away.
No. She gets pulled away because Stannis' troops are
I know, she
racing
turns
into-
away at the last
She
second,
got a
and then
good moment.
as soon as she turns away, the light goes on. Of
course.
I hate that shit.
That is the
Wait.
way it goes in Game of Thrones.
I don't like it. That's
I was
bullshit.
a little, when Stannis dies.
Stanza?
No, Stannis. When he's up
Stannis.
against the tree and he's gotten his ass kicked by the Winterfell forces. I didn't really feel like that was enough of a way to send him off. Like Brienne just slices his head off camera, and I just felt like there's been so much horrible carnage and violence and murders, and some of it perpetrated by this awful person too. And he should be. We should feel like he's getting hammered there.
But he was tortured throughout that entire episode, even
Sure.
before that, because of what happened to his daughter.
Yeah.
Then his wife is gone, and the Red Woman left him, and his troops are deserting him. Like he's gone. He's already been punched in the gut a million times in this episode. Like he got what was coming to him for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think that the way it ended with Brienne getting the moment was great because she deserved the moment. She's been waiting for this light forever. She finally
Yeah.
gets some action.
Yeah.
I mean, give her something.
Well,
so
they didn't
she
show
had
the
that.
action though. That was the weird
That's
thing.
okay. I didn't
Well,
need to see
it's
the
fine.
head.
We-
You wanted
we-
to see the head?
No.
Well,
You're not a gore guy.
No, I know, but it just felt like it was a weird cut for me. It was like, no pun intended, it just didn't feel like, did they really connect? Is he really gone? Because
he's really gone.
there's an implication
He's
there.
gone.
I mean, there was no implication with
I
the
mean-
Jon Snow stuff. It's like, okay, that guy has been
Oh,
skewered.
man. I didn't even get started on
The
that.
thing that I have always liked about the show is you kind of. I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. We were talking about Stannis and
I
Brienne
know.
Tarth.
The thing that I kind of enjoyed about Stannis, I mean, and it's sort of an awful thing, is you can just see this guy was so fucking lost.
Yeah.
He was just lost. He tried to do everything. He tried to do right by his
He believed
family.
in the Red Witch.
He tried to do right by the Red Witch. He tried to do right by his men. He made all the wrong choices, and this was just his moment of just, you could see the defeat in his eyes.
Yeah,
Even
but
before he was literally defeated. He was defeated.
But
He's
he
been
was-
defeated for a couple
and
episodes.
he was defeated, and he was honest in the end. Like when Brienne asked him about if the shadow was him, he did it. Like,
why
you
would he
know
say
what?
no?
You're right, but
course.
at least he gave her that. At least he was honest
Yeah.
in the end. Like what else could he do as a man at this point? Just be honest and leave it all.
Boy,
out
they
there.
really did tick all those things off.
And
Yeah.
even the kid of Cersei and
Jamie?
and Jamie's
Oh, the
daughter,
daughter.
and she knows that he's
What's
the
that country?
father.
What's the place called again?
Dorne.
Dorne. That's
Dorne,
right.
Dorne.
Stanza.
Everybody
Why you
pronounce
don't
it with
quit-
a
don't quit saying
British accent.
all fucked.
I thought it was Dorne.
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 Okay, so anyways, she dies, but she knows that he's the father, and
Yeah.
She finds out seconds before she dies.
yeah, it was a little too convenient.
I don't know, it's fine.
But they tidied all of that stuff up, and the mother of the sand snakes is just sitting there gloating, and everybody knows that this has all been a plan. But now they've got to face the wrath of the ruler of Dorne, and now there's probably going to be a huge, battle sequence between Dorne and
Maybe.
Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. I want to know what's going on with Arya.
Yes.
I wanna
Oh
know
yeah,
what's
Yeah,
she
going
she's
has
on
going
with
blind
Arya.
in the
Because that was the best opening of any Game of Thrones
That
ever.
was amazing,
Arya
yeah.
kicking so much butt over that pedophile. Oh my God, she got him so good, and he was so deserving of all the torture.
Oh yeah, he was.
And the way that she made him know who she was, that was so powerful. And then she went from being so high to so low in a matter of maybe half an hour in Game of Thrones time. Like she went back there and
gloating.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
she
she
felt
didn't
Never
do it right.
glowed on Game of Thrones.
Never glowed.
Yeah.
She felt good, obviously, but it was immediately taken from her. And I don't know what the heck is going on with that. She's pulling off all these faces. I don't even know how that's real.
Yeah, I
like,
kept expecting Luke Skywalker's face.
It was kind of framed like that, wasn't it? I like that sequence a lot. I also like the stuff of that happened around Daenerys and her being surrounded by all of those
the
horsemen
troops.
and
It looked like that Cavalia.
It did a little bit.
the ad.
You know, the show where
The
the
show.
horses they perform and they do it.
Oh,
It's like
yeah,
a
sure.
Cirque du Soleil
Cirque
kind of
du
thing with
Soleil.
horses. It did look like that. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
She was arguing with the dragon and
At
all
the
that stuff.
second she leaves the
Yeah,
dragon.
I mean, I don't know. It was fine. It was okay. I guess
And
so.
I liked Grey Worm and
Then all of a sudden, like, they're the council.
Yeah, I thought
with
that was cool.
Tyrion, and yeah, they all just look at each other in the end. Okay, well, I guess it has to be us now. We don't really know each other.
that was
but
an interesting new direction to take the show,
Yes.
rising up some of these supporting characters who have managed to survive all of this carnage.
Yeah.
They get to kind of craft some policy here and see
Yeah,
if
because
the city
Missandei
can be
hasn't
saved.
had a lot. She hasn't had a lot to do or a lot to say this whole season. So I guess this next season we'll see her rise up a little bit.
Well,
which
you
will be
know,
interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I'm glad we did this all season long. I'm sorry
Yeah.
we're not in pajamas today.
Me too.
But I don't know. I think I'm done. I think that's
You
it.
don't wanna do it
I
again
don't want
next
to
year?
do this anymore.
Is it
It feels
because
like-
Jon Snow?
It's not just that. It's just like I literally felt gutted when Ned Stark had his head chopped off.
Yeah.
I felt gutted in the Red Wedding. I didn't
Yeah.
care so much about Joffrey, and
Of
I don't
course
know.
not.
I just felt gutted, and I didn't feel gutted at the end when Jon Snow dies. I didn't. I'm
did.
like, I didn't feel. I don't know why. I just didn't. I didn't
did.
have any
You felt
emotion.
angry more than anything, manipulated.
I did.
I felt
Yeah.
like he deserved it. Like I understood
sure.
why they did it. I'm like, it makes sense. He's been running roughshod over the Night's Watch all season long. He's like, I'll make all the choices here, and I'll do the right thing, and I'll do it my right. I'll do it the right way, and I'll
He
be the
was
good
right,
guy.
though. I mean,
He
they're,
was
He was
they're gonna
right,
get
but you also have to
slaughtered.
understand you're dealing with the Night's Watch, which is very old, and they've been doing it the same way for a long time. And
But
he's bringing a lot of bullshit to bear in that environment. He deserved to die.
No, but there was so much more of his story that needed to be told and
And it
uncovered.
will be told. I'm sure
and
he's
they
not
needed
dead.
I don't think he's dead either.
Right, a lot of people don't think that he's dead. I don't-
Everybody, nobody thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
You need to get in our
Because
camp.
the red, I know that, but
The Red Witch is there, man.
The Red Witch is
and
there,
they're,
but
they're
then-
showing us that creations, that characters can come back to life.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
showing us that.
Mountain.
They're doing the
What if he
foreshadowing
comes
right in
back
the
to
same
life?
show.
Only he's all white now, just like Mountain is.
I don't want that.
Maybe he becomes a part of the.
Sorry.
What if he becomes part of the White Walkers?
No, that's not.
Sure.
No, no.
You know, maybe they take him
He's just a
as
zombie?
one of his own.
I don't know,
No,
man.
the
It was
red
one of
woman will
the demon
control him in
kings.
some way. I'm sure.
I still feel like there was
back.
just so much. There's just so many mysteries that I always love pondering in the Game of Thrones world. And
I think we should do it again next season.
you know, now
And
I
let's
just-
see how
I'm
it goes.
trying to make a point.
Yeah.
I know you're making an executive decision, but I used to enjoy pondering about those mysteries. I know too much about the White Walkers now. They're no longer a mystery for me. I
You
just
know,
feel like
Valyrian steel will take him out.
yeah, I don't know. Like it's become just kind of like, oh, that can beat them and that can beat those. Yeah, it's just like some of the mystery of it's gone.
You feel defeated. Game of Thrones.
I feel a little defeated by Game of Thrones, and I feel like this season asked a lot of all of us as viewers. Like you had to invest in those first 6 episodes before things started to get really interesting.
It's always a gamble when you kill off the characters because you don't know which ones are going to stay with people, and I don't know if the collection of characters that are left, especially if Jon Snow doesn't come back, is really worth the viewership's investment like it was, you know, because they had really, really strong.
How do they do the show if Jon
characters.
Snow's not there anymore?
Right, like what is the point?
Yeah, what is the
even?
point?
What
Yeah.
is the point?
I mean, it then becomes the White Walkers storming into Winterfell, and
No, but I will say though, out of all the storylines that I'm following in Game of Thrones, especially this season,
it's kind of musical chairs.
every time we go to the wall and I just felt like that was the boring part. Those are always the boring moments
Except
for
for
some
the
reason.
big battle.
No.
Which was not good.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I wasn't into that as much. Honestly, the other stories, I guess maybe because it's cold there and it's so dreary, and maybe I want to go visit the sunnier places. I just
Definitely Dorne has been a disappointment.
Yeah, it's so
Jordan's
disappointing.
disappointment,
Like
yeah.
that woman
Yeah.
wiping her lips with the poison. I just like, fuck all these people. Just get out of here.
Definitely.
yeah, that was an annoying
especially
storyline for
because
sure.
what was the name of the dude that the mountain killed?
Stanza.
No, that's somebody else.
Her husband. You
Yeah.
mean the woman's husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was dancing around with his
Yeah,
sword. I know.
he was amazing, right? Like he really
was
stood out
okay.
in the show.
He liked
was,
sex. He liked group sex.
but he was super fun in the show, and then they smash his head to bits, and you want the repercussion of that to be phenomenal, and then you get to Dorne, and it's okay.
They were also just sort of cluttered with these cults this season. You know, there was one
Yeah.
in King's Landing. There was
Yeah.
another one someplace else where I don't
Yeah,
know where
where
the other one was.
Daenerys is.
Yeah, where Daenerys. There's another one there. I'm just like, I don't know. Like
Oh
it just-
yeah.
It was a
I
little
want to
too
know.
much.
Right.
What I want is for Sansa to get some kind of revenge on Ramsay, but also like, where is Littlefinger, and how on earth can he just leave her there? He knew what was going to happen to her,
Yeah.
and he just left her
Yeah, well, of course he did.
for his brothel because he'll clean up his brothel. So
Yeah,
I
he
hope
had to
he
go
gets it.
sweep his
But everybody
brothel.
that's evil in the show just keeps
Yeah,
living.
Littlefinger was absolutely missed in that last episode,
No,
wasn't
there was no more story. Like his story was only to get her to Winterfell, and that was
no,
it. There
then
was
he had to go
nothing
back
else
to
for
his
him to
brothel.
do.
His brothel was completely overrun by that one
I know,
cult.
but that's not. We're not going to go there for a plot beat, though.
No, of course not. I get it, but I just mean there's going to be something
He's
more.
more Machiavellian than that, though. He's going to come back with something.
He will come back. Whether he didn't, there was the last episode was already packed. That we didn't have room for Littlefinger.
Okay.
And
No.
Baelish, we got to see a little Baelish.
Yeah,
at the end.
and they're doing a little plotting, I think. Baelish and Tyrion now.
Sure. I hope so. I don't know. I don't know,
He's getting
guys.
what he wants.
I don't know. I mean, I always
Peter
am excited.
Baelish is Littlefinger.
Just go to sleep.
Isn't that right?
No,
Yes.
No,
no. We're the,
he's right.
Yeah, I'm right. That's
Okay,
the one
Baelish,
name I
sure.
do know.
No, the one guy who's with Tyrion.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
we can never do this like 2 weeks after the show
We
ends.
can't. It's been way too
The
long.
guy, the fat guy with
Yeah.
the bald head, who
Yes.
has no genitals.
He's from Valeria, isn't
My
he?
uncle.
It's, guys,
I don't remember who
I'm
that
sorry.
guy
It's
is.
been too long.
Yeah.
It's hot
And
in
we didn't
here.
eat
It's hard to
Three.
remember the damn names. Okay, that's
It's hot in this
well
basement, Vic.
justified.
You're
Yes.
starting to brim up there. You
Am
are.
I?
You are a
I
little
have
bit.
muscle
Yeah.
sweat right now. It's
So
real.
you're
Game of
voting.
Thrones
You're
is behind
voting.
us.
You're voting no Game of Thrones.
You know what? I
Coffee
feel like
Talk
the
next
10
season.
hours that we put into this, and and it was more than that. It was always taking notes and getting ready for the morning and showing up. And I don't know. I don't
It
know if I
was.
want to do this
we were
again.
into it.
Are
yeah.
you checking out of Game of Thrones entirely then?
I mean, I'll
No,
probably
you're still gonna
sample it a little
watch.
bit, but I'm not into it anymore. It used to be my show, baby. It used to be my show. I don't think it is
now
anymore.
it's back to Seinfeld.
Well, Seinfeld's over. I just watched the old DVDs.
I think there was absolute redemption in that last episode.
The last
There was
episode
enough
was great.
thrilling stuff in there to go.
So
oh
you'd
my
watch
God.
9 episodes just to get that last
Well,
episode.
I liked some of the stuff in the later episodes, but yeah, it was definitely the most tedious season so far. There was a lot of navel-gazing minutia. I think the cult stuff got really tiresome.
They have puff chest right now. HBO has a lot of money, a lot of success, a lot of viewers.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep it rolling. But I also think that they no longer have that desperate kind of hunger that the first couple of seasons had. They're like, let's make this into something.
I think a large part of it has to do with the actors that you dismiss from your show. You know, the charisma that some of these performers that were cast in these roles had. When you start to take away some of that stuff, it affects the whole.
I wish every show
part
would
of the
do
show.
that, though. I wish it would do it. I wish it would change every week. I wish we'd have dynamic shows with dynamic worlds where people would live and die and we'd actually worry about them.
Which is part of what makes Game of Thrones so enticing.
But I don't like the sort of Magnum PI kind of. Of course, Magnum lives. He's Magnum PI. Like I don't want that anymore. I want that world. That feels like a more.
Magnum PI coffee talk.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
What other show should we do a coffee talk on? You guys can let us know.
Greatest American Hero.
Greatest American Hero, Vic proposes. Oh, surprise, that's been rejected. Sorry, buddy.
60s Batman.
Nope, that's rejected. What other show should we do though?
MASH.
Do you want? Are you guys enjoying True Detective? Did you shoot your review?
Yeah, I don't want to do a
This
coffee
season is a
talk.
little bit better, but yeah, it's really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't enjoy the last season. I watched like 3 or 4 episodes. Remember we did a review.
Yep.
And
No, but
they didn't
this
send
year,
us the.
HBO didn't send.
They didn't send us the review copies.
everybody kept telling us we were wrong.
Yeah, I know.
And
none of us liked the first season of True Detective,
We
but the
didn't
new
like it.
season's much better. But
It
we'll just do a. We've already done a review that's going to air next week on the first
I've
couple
been
of
watching
episodes.
Ballers.
How is Ballers?
I want to do Ballers.
Not a coffee talk on Ballers. I think we have to start with episode 1. Maybe.
It just aired. You can watch
No,
it
we're
now.
already up at 2 episodes. Maybe you guys tell us what we should do the next coffee
Ballers?
talk on.
Can you let Vic know Ballers is doing?
Can you guys vote
It's The
Ballers?
Rock. I'm such a fan of The Rock.
Do you want to do coffee talk with Game of Thrones next season?
Yeah.
I do too.
Okay, you guys do
Okay,
it then.
you're
No,
out.
this is your baby.
You're out.
I know, but the thing
We'll
is,
do it with Ben.
yeah, okay,
This
fuck
is
it.
his baby.
Ben, who's
Baby,
great.
this is your idea. You
I'm-
love dressing up in your robe.
Can we-
Hey, let's score the season.
What
then.
about last impressions for the season? Anybody got a stanza or a mountain?
or
Did
mountain.
They get together?
No,
Stanza and
impression. Impression.
Oh, last impression.
Stanza.
Yeah, You got anything? Stanza Stark, most beautiful woman.
That's
Stop
so
saying
good.
stanza.
That's
I
so
know it's good.
It's
I know
really
it. Are
good.
you kidding? I don't need to hear.
Baelish. That's a great
Baelish.
Baelish impression.
Lord
It's very
Varys. Who's the one?
Oh,
I think
that's what it is. Varys.
Is it
Yes.
Varys?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Varys.
Shit, why are we so stupid?
That's a lot of
And
names.
then
Listen,
she
it's been a long
sucked
day.
my cock.
Okay, that's really great. We'll work on our impressions for
That was my
next
Tyrion.
season, okay?
I'm sick of Tyrion this season, and Jorah's got red dots in his
He's
arms.
got red
Yeah, he does.
He's got tree
I like
skin.
that Jorah and the other guy, the other swordsman, are off
I don't know
trying
how
to make
his
friends now.
grayscale hasn't spread a little bit more at this point.
yeah.
And
He's gonna spread it to that other guy.
Oh, yeah.
When they're alone in a tent, it's gonna be
So
like
it's like
Brokeback
southern
Mountain.
zombies and northern zombies.
And some hillbilly lovemaking in the hills. Jorah and that
But
guy.
if you stuck with us for this whole season, this was totally experimental.
Yeah,
It was
Thank you so
experimental.
much.
And it was tough. It was tough. The 9 a.m. Like we're not gonna lie.
The 9 o'clock in the morning Monday
You're not allowed to
start
complain
times.
about that. People start
Yeah,
work at 9
come on.
o'clock normally.
Everybody
Listen,
does.
But we had to get a snack and we had to have our notes ready.
Okay, yeah, like there was some work being done the night before.
Listen,
It's fine.
I liked it. I thought it was a good idea. I had fun.
You weren't even. You were there for like 6 episodes.
I was disappointed when I couldn't be there. I had other things
Yeah,
going
sure,
on at
we
the
got-
same
we
time.
got it, Vic.
But
Don't
I
worry
liked
about
it, and I want to do it again.
More snacks next year.
Yes.
More donuts.
And maybe Vic
More
can
snacks.
show up more often.
More and more.
And will somebody please learn to do
pajamas.
another impression? And then she sucked my
we
cock.
can't beat that though. That's awesome. All right, so
That's a start.
let's give a
get it.
score because that's what we do on reviews on the run.
6.
This season?
6
Is it 6 or
out of
me?
10. What
This
are you giving
season's
it?
an 8.
Oh,
I'm giving it an 8 as
Oh,
well.
you guys
It's
are
still
pussies.
terrific television,
How
even
is
though
that?
there's lots
Totally,
of
it's a 10.
problems and we had lots to whine about and complain about. Still
Yes.
super fun.
Thank
See you next season for Game of Thrones Coffee Talk.
And then she sucked his cock. Oh my god.
Vic's Basement would like to thank its sponsors, EB Games, Nintendo, Xbox, and Gameloft, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.